Hey, look at me. I'm here again. Mostly because I have more stuff to share because some of my Amazon stuff came in. I didn't use all my money. I saved like, I don't know, $40 for those random Kindle buys where you're like, oh, that sounds interesting. I don't want to pay more than $2. Look, it's $1.99 kind of thing. I saved that. And also I have another thing coming because I might have given in and gotten the Blu-ray edition of season 2 of Once Upon a Time. There's only so much you can do on Netflix. You don't get the commentary, which is one of my favorite things. I love listening to what writers and directors and actors have to say about the work they do. So that should be coming in probably next week. But I did get my haul today, so I was going to share. First of all, got a couple of DVD Blu-rays, and one of them that I got was Never Let Me Go by, based on the book Never Let Me Go, with Carey Mulligan, Andrew Garfield, oh boy, I'm so bad at this, Andrew Garfield, and Keira Knightley. I think this is a fascinating story, and the movie was really, really good. It will make you cry. So I'm not really sure why I felt like I needed to own it, because I don't particularly like crying. I do it enough on my own. But, I don't need this to show me. But it was so, so good. And I love to watch all the special stuff, too. Even though there's not a lot. Anyway, so I got that. And I got... Okay, you're going to judge me on a couple of these. I got Crybaby on Blu-ray. Now, I used to have this on DVD, and it's gotten lost in the moves. That happens. I don't know where it went, but I think it's been, gone for like 5 years, so I figured, okay, I've obviously lost it. And I didn't have it on Blu-ray. There's a couple of, special features. It's a John Waters film, who also did the original Hairspray, which I also really like. And I like this because I think it's funny, and I like the music. And Johnny Depp's like 20, I don't know, he's like in his 20s, and he's really cute. And it's just fun, and it's set in the 50s, and there's dancing and singing, so why wouldn't I like it? Oh, you're still going to judge me for this one, but I watched it at least 3 times on Netflix streaming. Yep. It is a made-for-Disney movie called Lemonade Mouth, which I know, it's not actually my favorite title ever, but it's about a group of kids who become a band. And I think it's actually pretty good for, for Disney made-for-TV film. I mean, it's not High School Musical, but I actually thought the story was a little more interesting. I mean, there's the cheesy moments, but okay. I liked it, and I wanted to see all the special stuff, and I figured if I'd already watched it that many times on streaming, I probably should own it. I also own all 3 High School Musicals, so judge away. I will never buy Teen Beach Movie, though. That one didn't do it for me. And then last but not least, on the DVD Blu-ray front, do I need to say anything? Probably not. The book is good, the movie is good, it touches my heart in 15 million ways, and I'd love to see the special features, and I've just been kind of waiting to get it for a while. I actually had it on my list for since it came out, and nobody bought it for me, so I bought it for myself. Or they did buy it for me because they gave me the gift card money. I also did get 2 books. I'm actually a little sad that these books are made so big. I got 9 Stories by J.D. Salinger, because the Catcher in the Rye I have and Franny and Zooey that I have are the really small editions, that are old. And I would have liked to have continued that sort of tradition, but then you have to go to used bookstores and stuff, and I don't even know if there's a used bookstore in town. So, and I really, really wanted to read the 9 Stories, because now that I've read more than just Catcher in the Rye, I've decided he's brilliant, and I want to read everything he ever wrote. There's also that documentary coming out, or has come out, and it might just not make it here, about Salinger, and so I hope to watch that. So I got that, and then the other book I got, I've actually read before. I read when I was in England in 2009, before I got an agent and everything. I was staying with a friend, and it's Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day, which is a film, if you've not seen that, which is a wonderful film. The book is different. The film actually kind of creates a villain. I mean, kind of. I mean, antagonist, I think is probably a better term. This one doesn't really actually have much of an antagonist, and there's a few anti-Semitic references. But it's really good. It's by Winifred Watson, and I just really liked it. I mean, I love the movie as well, but I just really, really like the book, and it's been on my wish list for ages, and it's not one of those things that you can find in the bookstore because it's kind of, well, it's not John Grisham or Stephen King or anybody like that. Speaking of which, I need to read a Stephen King novel because I've never read one. I've just read his On Writing book, but I don't like scary books. So if anybody wants to recommend a Stephen King novel for me that's not scary but interesting, I saw The Green Mile, and I saw Secret Window, which I know is based on a short story, I think, and I also saw Hearts in Atlantis, I think was his as well. Anybody want to recommend something that, and not maybe one of the ones that's like huge, like Under the Dome and stuff. But if that's the best one, then that's the best one. I just can't do scary. Sorry. I like sleeping at night, and scary gives me nightmares. So that's my book haul, or media haul, mini. And then, like I said, the other thing that's coming is Once Upon a Time season 2. Also, I finished An Ordinary Man, which my students are reading right now, about the Rwandan genocide in 1994. It was very, very good. It's incredibly painful to read, especially because it's true. And, the UN and the U.S. connected to the UN didn't really do much. Now, I don't know why they didn't from their point of view. I only know what came from this, the hotel manager, whose last name I cannot pronounce, Paul something or other. But it was very, very good, and I don't know, I thought it was interesting. Okay, so books that I'm reading right now, I'm still finishing Theory of Everything, which I had, like 4 months ago. I don't know why. It's been a rough couple of months. So I'm finishing that, and I'm also reading Desiring God by John Piper. It is a spiritual book, so if that's not your thing. I read it in college, and I remember really, really liking it, so I've decided to reread it. And at that moment, that's all I'm doing. I have some other things to read, and maybe I'll get to them, but I don't want to say them yet because then I've committed myself to doing them, and I have issues with commitment. If you talk to anybody who knows me, I have serious commitment issues. I think it comes from being a military brat. So that's my Friday reads. Like I said, if you know of any good Stephen King novels that are not scary, or that would be a good intro to Stephen King's writing, I would love, because like I said, I loved his On Writing book because I thought, I should reread that. That would probably be helpful. Like my video if you please, and comment suggestions about Stephen King novels, or I don't know, I just take suggestions. Doesn't mean I'll get to it this year, but there's always summer. So have a good Friday.